I've hit a point in my life where rising pressure makes me grin, because the moment things get brutal, the pretenders fall away. Hard times aren't a curse, they're a sorting machine. They separate the people who want it from the people who only wish for it. They expose who's built for the climb and who's built for comfort. When you finally understand that, your mentality detonates and rebuilds itself. Most people see a wall and say, I can't do this. But if you can teach your mind to answer, good, make it worse, make it heavier, no one else will have the guts to stand here. Everything shifts. Every brutal step forward becomes another line that filters out the weak. Every hit you take becomes another checkpoint that only the relentless can survive. Nothing extraordinary will ever be handed to you. Not once. Anything that matters, power, mastery, freedom, respect, demands blood, sweat, and absolute commitment. You cannot bluff your way to the summit. You cannot dodge the price. The grind doesn't pause. It doesn't pity. It doesn't negotiate. It demands everything you've got and gives you nothing but silence in return. If you want your life to shift, stop waiting for a green light. Stop waiting for luck to fall in your lap. The dream isn't delivered, it's constructed layer by layer on days when nobody's watching, nobody's clapping, and nobody thinks you can do it. Before we push forward, I'll ask you for one simple thing. Take a moment to support the video, like it, boost it, share it, anything that helps push this message to someone who needs a wake-up call today. I appreciate it. Now, listen closely. For the next 3 years, go all in on yourself. Ruthlessly, fearlessly, without apology. Treat your growth like it's a survival requirement, because it is. Fortify your mind, build your body, strengthen your finances. Turn yourself into someone who cannot be shaken. Secure your own air first before you try to pull anyone else out of the flames. Build a base so unbreakable that no person and no problem can knock it off balance. Stack your resources, sharpen your craft, guard your mental space like it's sacred. Be ruthless with your schedule. Be unapologetically ambitious. Chase your potential like something inside you refuses to die quietly. Stop feeling guilty for wanting a bigger life. Stop shrinking yourself to make small people comfortable. You only get a limited window to lay the groundwork for your future. Don't burn those years trying to impress spectators who aren't even willing to step into the fight. Because if you commit right now, if you stop daydreaming and start attacking, if you stop announcing and start executing, the life you carve out in 5, 7, 10 years won't even resemble the one you're standing in today. You'll look back one day and barely recognize the person who used to doubt, hesitate, and wait for a perfect moment. Here's the unshakable truth. There are no shortcuts. You can't skip the grind. There's no express ride to the top. The elevator doesn't reach that high. You've got to take the stairs. And those stairs, they're brutal, dark, and endless. You will stumble. You will hit the ground. You will want to quit. But those stairs are where the transformation happens. That's where you outpace everyone else. You've got to get ruthless. You've got to fall in love with the grind. The hardest path and the right path are almost always the same. Nothing worth having ever comes easy. Easy doesn't exist for winners. It belongs to those who have already given up. When I was young, people told me to focus on homework, but my homework wasn't in a notebook. My homework was life. My homework was discipline. You look back and barely recognize the person who used to doubt, hesitate, and wait for the perfect moment. Listen closely. There are no shortcuts, no skipping the grind, no elevator to the top. It doesn't go that high. You take the stairs, and those stairs, they're steep, dark, and endless. You'll stumble, you'll fall, you'll want to quit, but the stairs are where the real work happens. That's where you leave everyone else behind. You've got to get gritty. You've got to embrace the process. The hardest thing to do is almost always the right thing to do. Nothing meaningful ever comes easy. Easy is for those who have already given up. When I was young, everyone told me to do my homework, but my homework wasn't on paper. My homework was life. My homework was discipline. Showing up when I didn't feel like it, that was my mission. To outwork every single person who claimed they wanted it. The truth, the obsessed, the ones who eat, sleep, and breathe their vision, they're the ones who change the world, or at least they change their world. Someone once asked me, do you know what separates champions from everyone else? I said, what? He said, people look at champions and wonder what they have that I don't. That's the wrong question. The real question is, what do they lack that I have? See, champions are missing one thing, an off switch. They don't quit. They can't quit. It's not about motivation. It's in their wiring. Every choice, every action, every second of their life is locked onto one mission. There are two types of champions, those who prepare to win and those who prepare to dominate. The difference? Winners train until they get it right. Dominators train until they can't get it wrong. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It starts the second you go all in. The moment you stop testing the waters and finally dive, everything changes. If you're going to commit Commit with your whole soul. Say what you mean what you say. If you can't do it, admit it. Don't fake it. Don't overpromise. But if you say you're in, be in completely. No hesitation. No safety net. Half-hearted attempts will crush you. Playing it safe is the language of fear. Decide first, then execute. Don't test the waters. Dive in and swim until you either reach the other side or go down fighting. Because the only thing worse than failure is never knowing. Maybe if they hadn't quit early, they would have won. Maybe if they had believed harder, they'd be living the life they dreamed about. When you give everything you've got, pour your entire being into it, even failure becomes a victory. You discover who you are, you gain peace. You can look in the mirror and say, I didn't half-ass it. That's power. That's freedom. But when you go all in and succeed, when you discover, this is exactly what I was made for. That's purpose. That's destiny. That's when you become unstoppable. That's the reason you do it. Not because it's easy, not because it's guaranteed, but because at the end of it all, you'll know. You'll know you faced the mountain and didn't step back. You'll know you gave everything you had. You'll know that when life tried to break you, you smiled because no one else would follow you into that storm. And that's the moment, the quiet, unshakable moment when you realize you weren't chasing success, you were becoming it. Right now, your family is waiting. They're looking for that one person, the one strong enough to hold it all together when the world feels like it's falling apart. They're searching for that pillar, that rock, that anchor. Make sure when they look around, they find you. Because these are the moments that define men. Moments when strength isn't optional, it's demanded. When chaos hits, the world doesn't need more noise. It needs a man who can stand firm while everything around him crumbles. Be that man. Be the one who doesn't break. Be the one who can carry the weight, take the pain, the doubt, the fear, and still keep moving forward. A good friend of mine, Alex, once said something I'll never forget. The heaviest burdens in life aren't made of iron or gold. They're made of unmade decisions. And he's right. Most people feel stressed, lost, weighed down because they let choices sit in their minds like anchors and they refuse to lift them. You want peace? Make the damn decision. Even when it's tough, especially when it's tough. I've learned how to pull strength from nothing. I can generate dopamine, the real kind, whenever I need it. Not from people, not from applause, from within, because I spent 99% of my life training alone. No one clapped, no one said, good job. I did it myself. And when you live like that, when you spend years in silence, grinding in the dark, pushing through pain, and you emerge on the other side, you forge something inside that nobody can touch. That's why when life hits hard, I can switch it on instantly. That energy, that fire people see, it's not something I wear every day. It's something I become when I need it. Because after years fighting through darkness alone, you learn how to light your own fire. You learn that you don't need anyone to motivate you. And that's exactly why people end up looking to you for motivation. You're the one who doesn't need it. See, people only root for those who don't rely on cheering. The world loves you after you've made it. But while you're still climbing, still bleeding for it, silence. When I walked that lonely path, I was too different from my old friends and not yet successful enough to fit in with the people I admired. I was stuck in that middle zone alone, unseen, misunderstood. That's when you need support the most. Then they call you amazing. They call you inspiring. But by then, you need it the least. So you have to become your own crowd. You have to be the one who claps when nobody else will. It's a lonely sound, that single clap echoing in an empty room. But that's what greatness sounds like at the start. It's you rooting for you, and it might stay that way for years, just you in the silence, until one day the world finally catches up. So, if you're walking alone right now, struggling, feeling like no one sees the grind you're putting in, hear this. You're on the right path. The path of the exceptional is always one of exception. By definition, it means you stand apart. You are not meant to fit in. You are meant to rise above. Stop fighting the loneliness. Stop hating the silence, the isolation. It's proof you're exactly where you need to be. If everyone were cheering, you'd still be with the crowd, not ahead of it. And that's not your place. Now is the time. You're not early. You're late. You're 30. You've already lost years to hesitation, distraction, doubt. This is a man's game now. Wake up and move. Every day you waste is a day you'll wish back. Get on it. Get hungry. Get focused. No one is coming to save you but you. When I walk into any room, I know exactly who I am. I believe in myself with a mind that cannot be shaken. And when I step out there, I don't hope to perform. I know I'll perform. Confidence isn't arrogance. Ignorant people call it that, but the intelligent, they see it for what it is. Clarity. I know who I am. I know what I've done. I know what I'm capable of. That's not arrogance, that's proof. Look around. Most people aren't failing because they lack talent. They fail because they avoid trade-offs. They wanted all success without sacrifice. Progress success without pain. But life doesn't work that way. There are no shortcuts, only trade-offs. What does that mean? Nothing is ever perfect. Every choice comes at a cost. Every decision takes something from you. You can't win everywhere. If you pour yourself into one thing, something else will suffer. And that's okay. That's life. If you're not willing to make the trade-offs, if you're not ready to give something up for something greater, you'll stay stuck forever. So stop chasing the perfect plan. Stop waiting for the ideal moment. It doesn't exist. The only thing real is the choice in front of you. Pick it, commit to it, move. Time isn't waiting. And when the storm hits, when life turns into a hurricane and everyone else runs for cover, be the one still standing. Be the one jogging through the hurricane while the world hides indoors. That's what separates the few from the many. That's what separates the watchers from the doers. They'll call you crazy. They'll call you arrogant. But when the dust settles, they'll call you something else, unstoppable. We live in strange times. No great war to fight, no monumental depression to survive. On the surface, the world is calm, but inside, every person is at war. Our great war is spiritual. Our great depression is within ourselves. The emptiness, the scrolling, the comparison. That quiet voice whispering that maybe we were built for more. We're not dodging bullets anymore, we're dodging accountability. We're not fighting hunger, we're fighting comfort. We're not struggling to survive anymore. We're struggling to find meaning. And somewhere in that confusion, people started repeating the most dangerous words ever spoken. I can't. You said it. I can't. That phrase makes my skin crawl. I can't. I can't is the anthem of the weak. It's the language of people who surrender before they even take a swing. When I hear I can't, what I really hear is I won't. Because you can. You just won't. You don't want to pay the cost. You don't want to sacrifice, to suffer, to sit in discomfort long enough to discover who you really are. I don't have the time or the space for that energy. I won't sit beside people who fold the moment life gets heavy. You've got to stop being controlled by outcomes. Stop being addicted to the end result. Quit living with that if-then mindset. If I get this job, then I'll be happy. If I hit this number, then I'll feel successful. If I achieve this goal, I'll finally be enough. No, that's not how any of this works. You do the work because the work must be done. You show up because that's who you are now. You keep going because consistency has become your identity, not because the world applauds you for it. And when you don't get the result you expected, you still show up, you still move, because the process is where the real growth happens. The process is where you transform. What matters more, what you gain, or who you become? Chasing it. Most people never stop long enough to ask that question. They're so fixated on the finish line that they forget to become someone worthy of crossing it. Success that upgrades your bank account but never upgrades your character will always feel hollow. That's why I follow one rule: turn expectation into appreciation. When things don't go your way, don't sulk, study. What is this moment trying to teach you? Every failure carries a lesson. Every loss carries a blessing, but only for the person willing to see it. Most people never do. Most people are stuck at step one, frozen by indecision. They stare at the endless possibilities of life and drown in them. They want every door open at the same time, so they walk through none of them. They overthink, they hesitate, they strategize their way into paralysis, and then one day they look up and realize that time didn't wait for them. It never does. Opportunities don't disappear. They migrate. They move on to the person who was willing to act while everyone else was still thinking about acting. That's the truth people don't want to swallow. The world rewards decisiveness, not perfection. You have to pick a direction and commit, not with doubt, not with half your spirit. With everything you have, you need a mentality built around zero options. No backup plan, no safety net. No, let me try this and see how it feels. When I wake up on the days when everything in me wants to stay in bed, I tell myself the same thing I've told myself for years. If I don't move today, if I don't fight through this moment, then I might as well be out there digging ditches. Maybe that's not literally true anymore, but psychologically, it keeps me sharp. It keeps me hungry. The mind needs pressure. It needs stakes. It needs to believe that quitting is not an available path, because the moment you give yourself an exit, you'll sprint through it at the first sign of discomfort. So I operate like I have no choice but to succeed. I choose a target and I stay locked on it until the job is done, completely done. No loose ends, no maybes, no half-finished attempts left scattered behind me. And yes, it's hard, but that's the point. That's how you build grit. That's how you forge something inside yourself that doesn't crack when life swings back at you. The problem is, most people never commit because they're paralyzed by the idea of failing. They haven't figured out that failure isn't a loophole, it's part of the contract. It's built into the process. Most people catastrophize every scenario. If I fail, I'll lose my job, then I'll lose respect, then I'll never recover, then I'll go broke, then I'll die. It's absurd Absurd, but that is how fear communicates. In exaggeration, in imaginary disasters, in stories that sound dramatic but collapse under even the slightest logical pressure. When I finally paused long enough to think rationally about failure, I realized something simple. It's not that bad. If I tried something and it didn't work, what would really happen? I'd get up, I'd recalibrate, I'd apply somewhere else, I'd take the lesson, sharpen it, and come back with more precision. Failure doesn't destroy you, it refines you. And that's when I understood something most people never will. Failure doesn't make you smaller, it makes you compelling, it makes you valuable, it gives you perspective, depth, resilience, qualities that can't be faked or purchased. The world admires the ones who walked through fire and didn't evaporate. So I stopped saying someday. I used to say that all the time. Yeah, I've got this job now, but someday I'll start my own business. Someday I'll chase what I really want. But someday is the biggest lie we use to stay comfortable. Someday is just another word for never. I looked at my life and realized I've got no kids, no wife, no major responsibilities holding me back. If it feels tough now, it'll be damn near impossible later. So I moved now. I stopped talking about what I wanted and started building it, brick by brick, failure by failure. I stopped attaching my dream to the end of my sentence. I made it the beginning of every single one. And that's the real war we're all in. Not against the world, but against ourselves. The battle isn't external anymore. It's internal. It's your potential versus your comfort, your discipline versus your doubt, the man you are versus the man you're terrified to become. That's the modern battlefield. The human spirit held hostage by its own excuses. So stop saying I can't. You can. You just don't. Not yet. But the second you stop waiting, stop doubting, and start moving, everything shifts. Because the truth is, you were never short on ability. You were never short on ability. You were only short on commitment. The gap between who you are and who you could be isn't talent, luck, or opportunity. It's the exact second you finally decide to move. Do you honestly think Michael Jordan was merely interested in winning championships? You think Kobe Bryant was casually interested in basketball? You think Jeff Bezos was just interested in shipping boxes? You imagine Elon Musk rolling out of bed saying, "I'm interested in rockets today"? No, those men weren't interested. They were obsessed. Obsessed with mastery. Obsessed with the process. Obsessed with the climb. Because interest fades. Obsession doesn't. You can be interested in a dozen things: reading, cars, fitness, gardening. Interest comes and goes depending on your mood, your energy, your circumstances. But obsession? Obsession doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't check the weather. It doesn't wait for motivation. It doesn't need validation. Obsession stays when no one else does. It's there when the world looks away, when the lights go out, when the phone stays silent. Obsession whispers, "We keep going." I've been there, alone, nobody around, no fans, no cameras, no applause, no witnesses, and I kept working anyway. Because that's the truth sometimes. Nobody will show up to inspire you. Nobody will clap for you. Nobody will reward your discipline. That's life. And that's exactly when obsession proves what you're made of. Now, stop waiting. Stop overthinking. Stop sitting around hoping life will hand you something it never owed you in the first place. Stand up, move, build the story you want to live while you still have time to write it. Be the spark that makes someone else begin. Be the proof that pain can be forged into power. Be the one who finally said, "Enough, this is your turn." And when the noise dies down, when the crowd disappears, when it's just you and that quiet voice inside, ask the only question that matters. Am I becoming the person I was meant to be? Because most people tap out long before the finish line. Most people retreat the moment it hurts. Most people crumble under the weight they were supposed to grow from. But if you're still showing up, still carrying the load, still rebuilding yourself brick by brick, then you're not most people. If you're still standing, still pushing, still refusing to fold, then comment, "Still in the fight." Let's see how many remain. And remember this, your limits are not assigned, they're chosen.